I'm not bothered by her joke. The truth is, she wasn't at our wedding in Venice because we simply didn't invite her.
Celebs are coming for Jeff Bezos and his flashy wedding like never before. Some are salty they didn't make the guest list, while others can't believe Jeff and Lauren blew so much cash on their big day. Let's break this down. People all over have been roasting Jeff Bezos' wedding to Lauren Sanchez, but now even Hollywood is piling on. Folks in Italy aren't happy, society is throwing shade, and stars are jumping into the drama. Charlize Theron even used her speech at a charity event to blast the couple, straight up saying, "They suck." Can you believe that? Maybe she's pressed she didn't score an invite. Charlize joked, "I think we might be the only people who did not get an invite to the Bezos wedding, but that's okay because they suck and we're cool." Shots fired. I remember seeing her once at a fancy private gym, and trust me, her vibe was anything but friendly. Charlize came across cold, like she wouldn't even glance your way. For real, she's that type, you know? People are still talking about how much money Jeff and Lauren dropped, and the way Charlize stepped up to slam them has everybody talking. Famous folks can act like they see right through you. No lie! Charlize had no problem taking a moment to drag Jeff and Lauren, and honestly, they kinda had it coming. She was feeling bold up there and even dropped a "yeah, F them" on stage. Wild, right? Here's the little clip I found of her speech. But you know what? Her speech didn't really land the way she hoped.
We're moving backwards fast. Immigration policy is destroying the lives of families, not criminals. Women's rights are becoming less and less every day. Queer and trans lives are increasingly being erased, and gender-based violence is on the rise.
People were quick to clap back, saying she was just jealous she didn't lock down a billionaire like Bezos. Someone even called her a wannabe scab. Another chimed in, saying she's salty she didn't get an invite. While someone else laughed, "Who cares? She's jealous." I think Charlize really believed the crowd would eat up her speech since folks online have been tearing Jeff and Lauren apart anyway. But turns out, not everyone was on her side. People didn't want to see that kind of shade coming from her, and they were ready to call her out in a second. Rich going after the rich, it never really hits the way folks think. Check this out. I came across the weirdest clapback ever, like straight up AI generated. It was a fake video of Lauren Sanchez talking trash about Charlize and responding to her shade. So bizarre. It's totally fake, but still, you gotta see it. I swear Lauren didn't even look human in that clip. Straight up looked like a robot. Wild! Friends, not spectators. That's what the card said in the video, but again, it's not even real.
I'm not bothered by her jokes. The truth is, she wasn't at our wedding in Venice because we simply didn't invite her. That wasn't an oversight, it was a choice. We invited friends, not spectators, with opinions from the sidelines. Their guest list is awful, but they're cool. Charlize sure knows how to comfort herself. Speaking with that much confidence about a party you weren't even invited to, I suddenly understand her acting range a little better. She said the world is burning and we were celebrating. Funny, I haven't seen her turn down any luxury brand endorsements in the name of climate action.
Honestly, though, I kind of wish it was, because the drama would be off the charts. All right, that's enough from me. AI really knows how to roast someone for real. But Charlize ain't the only one coming for this couple. Out of nowhere, Rosie O'Donnell decided to drop a whole poem about them. In her caption, she straight up called Lauren a fake fee-bot wife, and even threw in some before and after pics to prove her point. Savage. And honestly, wow, Rosie went in. I was trying to figure out what exactly changed, you know? The forehead's still the same, the eyebrows barely moved, the eyes kind of stayed put, but everything else? Whoa, totally switched up. Rosie wrote, "The Bezos wedding turned my stomach after seeing a bunch of billionaires flexing their cash in one place. She couldn't deal with the insane excess, and honestly, she made sure the world knew it. The spectacle of it all is wild. Like, is Oprah really tight with Jeff Bezos? For real? Folks can't wrap their heads around it since he's known for treating his workers like trash. According to Annie Metric, he's no saint. That's for sure. Remember that meme with Amazon employees crawling down the aisle on their knees? That's the vibe folks can't forget. And then there's his so-called fake fembot wife, Lauren. People keep asking why he'd pick her over someone like Mackenzie. Mackenzie, his ex-wife, is seen as the salt of the earth, donating massive amounts to charity and staying humble. How do you go from that to Lauren? Makes no sense. Rosie's poem was going off, talking about Bezos selling his soul and the devil basically grinning over all his wins. That's a big statement. She even said you can catch the rest of the poem over on her Substack. What really turned heads is Rosie calling out Oprah. They both came up in the same era, and Oprah even gave Rosie a shot on her own network back in 2011, calling her a partner and a friend. Looks like times have changed big time, huh? The drama just keeps getting juicier. We've already talked about Mackenzie Scott before, Jeff Bezos' first wife. They've got kids together, and she's known for giving back big time, not throwing some wild $50 million wedding. Out of nowhere, Mia Farrow decided to post a pic of her and hype her up, saying how amazing she is. One person even dropped a comment that Mackenzie should have been on the cover of Vogue instead, and that set folks off. Olivia Munn jumped into the mix too, throwing her own little shade by responding to Mia's post with truly incredible. You know that was a slick way of dissing Jeff and Lauren without saying it straight up? It's kind of the easy route, right? Instead of giving the couple props, people just drag his ex-wife into the spotlight, praising her charity work like she's a total saint. It's so messy. Mia Farrow was messy for bringing Mackenzie up right when Jeff is getting remarried. That's a bold move. Like, come on, they knew exactly what they were doing. Talking about Mackenzie's good heart while Jeff's flaunting all that wedding cash. Drama for days. They didn't bring up Mackenzie a month ago or even a few months ago, but now, suddenly, she's front and center? That's straight up shade, and I gotta respect it, but I'm still gonna call it out. I remember when Emily Ratajkowski clapped back about that Blue Origin space flight with Katy Perry on board. That was all Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez flexing their money, no doubt.
That space mission this morning, that's end-time shit. Like, this is beyond parody. Saying that you care about Mother Earth and it's about Mother Earth and you're going up in a spaceship that is built and paid for by a company that's single-handedly destroying the planet. Look at the state of the world and think about how many resources went into putting these women into space. For what? For what was the marketing there? And then to try to make it like, I'm disgusted, literally, I'm disgusted.
I'd love to know what Emily thinks about this wedding now, because she went off about that space trip big time. And then there's this creator, Meredith Lynch, who dropped a fire reel on Instagram. She broke down how Jessica Alba is being a total hypocrite for showing up to the wedding with her man. Like, how you gonna be there celebrating all that flash when you claim to stand for something else? Folks are watching every move these celebs make, and trust me, they're quick to call them out when things don't add up.
Jessica Alba, you decided to use some of your summer vacation to go to the Bezos wedding. That was a choice. Let's talk about it. The amount of hypocrisy in this photo alone is wild to me. So obviously it's Jessica Alba, but then the other woman is this woman, Kelly Sawyer. And do you know who Kelly Sawyer is? She's one of the co-CEOs of Baby to Baby, a nonprofit that provides children in need across the country with diapers, clothing, basic necessities. Great stuff, Kelly. We love it. But here's where you lose the plot for me. Oh, and P.S. Jessica Alba is on the board of this nonprofit. Here's why going to this wedding right now and posting these photos is absolutely unhinged for both of you, but actually especially for you, Kelly Sawyer. Have you two idiots turned on the news this weekend? I don't think you have. You've been so busy in your Venice bubble, you don't know what's going on back here for the rest of us in the country that you live in. Kelly Sawyer, you claim to care about these people so much that you went through the heartache of having to stand in a warehouse for 75 minutes. I'm just kidding. I'm sure you like go into the, and are part of this, but it's disgusting to me that there is this bill that has snap cuts that could threaten families, and this is what you're posting. Is this the same face that you made when you kissed Jeff Bezos' ring?
Her partner was repping Baby to Baby. Just so you know, Baby to Baby is a nonprofit Jessica Alba helped start to get basic stuff like diapers and supplies to kids in need. So it was wild seeing Meredith call Jessica and her friend out for showing up at this wedding, surrounded by folks who push policies that leave kids struggling for the basics. Like, come on! These billionaires could actually change the game for families, but instead, they're living it up with people who keep creating the very problems they claim to care about fixing. There are real kids in this country without their basic needs met while the rich keep throwing these massive parties. I'm not trying to knock folks just for being rich. Success is cool. But there comes a point where you're so rich you lose touch with reality, while the rest of the world is crying out for help. That's where it crosses the line. What's crazy is that basically every celebrity you can think of got an invite to this wedding. The hype was everywhere, but so was the controversy. But Eva Longoria, who's tight with Lauren Sanchez, was totally MIA from the wedding. She did hit up the bachelorette party with Katy Perry, but when it came to the big day, Eva chose to chill at the beach instead of getting caught up in all that wedding drama. Right now, she's working on her CNN series, Eva Longoria Searching for Spain. And honestly, what's that even about? We did a whole video on Eva not long ago, and she's amazing, but still, what is this show? It's actually her third time filming it, so they've been on this project for a minute. But Searching for Spain? For real, girl? You just hop off the plane and boom, you're there. No need to search. And let's be real, Spain is pretty close to Venice. Geography ain't that hard. A couple hours tops. She could have easily popped over for one of her bestie's biggest days ever. It's kind of wild she skipped out considering how close they are. Makes you wonder if there's more to the story, right? A bunch of you have been hitting me up asking, what about the kids? Well, turns out the children were there at the wedding, but they kept things super low-key, which was probably a smart move on Jeff's part. Nobody even knows exactly how many kids Jeff has, for sure. Lauren's son with Tony Gonzalez is 24 now, and apparently working as a model. Classic Nepo baby vibes. Lauren also has 2 kids with her ex-billionaire husband, Patrick. Her daughter Ella actually showed up rocking a suit for the wedding, which is fire. Lauren said Ella's always done her own thing, never even had a fitting before, but she loved it. That's style for you. Lauren was hyped, saying she's gonna look amazing, and talked about how fun it was getting all her kids dressed up for the big day. Maybe Ella is a bit different, but she clearly slayed it. And this is pretty much the only pic out there of Lauren with her daughter. Super rare. Her 2 sons, Nico and Evan, actually walked her down the aisle, while Ella stood right next to her as her maid of honor. That's a whole family moment, even if they kept it on the down low. Jeff's got 4 kids with his ex-wife, and they stay way under the radar, so low-key that folks didn't even know for sure if they showed up at the wedding until today. Honestly, keeping his kids' lives private might be the smartest move Jeff's ever pulled besides building Amazon. With all these shady characters out here, you can't blame him for protecting them. Sources say Jeff is the 2nd richest man on the planet, yet he dodges taxes like a champ. Word is he moved to Florida in 2024 to skip out on state income taxes. Sure, he still pays federal taxes, but he keeps selling off chunks of Amazon stock to play the system and offset what he'd owe. This dude's worth like 200-something billion, but reports claim he only paid about 1.4 billion in taxes between 2006 and 2018. I'm no math genius, but that sounds shady as heck. And get this, I came across a video of someone who actually waited on Jeff before, and their story is wild. They said Jeff straight up refused to even look at the bill. Can you believe that? All that money and he couldn't be bothered to glance at a check. It just proves no matter how rich he gets, folks still side-eye the way he handles his fortune.
Last year, Jeff Bezos came into my restaurant and I had the opportunity to serve him, and he did not pay the bill. In fact, I was told that Jeff doesn't get the bill and that the bill will be delivered to his 2 security guards that sat at the bar and watched him eat. To which, of nobody's surprise, they left a 20% tip, which I'm always grateful for. You know, any tip is better than no tip, but it made me sick. Blew my mind that they rid themselves of the responsibility of knowing what the bill was, because then that way they kind of bypass me as a server being able to say, oh, well, Jeff didn't tip me. No joke, and I'm not saying that from an entitled place, but one time Steve Carell came into my restaurant, his bill was $400, and he left a $1,000 tip. Like, just because he has it and he understands.
And that wedding is just another chapter in the Bezos saga. It's crazy how Jeff acts like bills don't even exist, just floating through life doing whatever he wants whenever he wants. That attitude straight up makes people mad, no doubt. But I want to hear what you all think. Drop your thoughts down in the comments. And hey, don't forget to subscribe to NoFilter, since we're serving up 2 celebrity gossip drama videos every single day. You gotta check out our full series on the Bezos wedding breakdown. Parts 1, 2, and 3 are packed with even more juicy details. Hit that like button, share this with your crew, and leave a comment so we can keep the conversation going. See you in the next one.